Greetings, all. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Those clouds. Wow. If I was in Africa or the Caribbean or America or anywhere else, when I see clouds like this all across the sky, I would be preparing for the worst. But you can only prepare for the worst when you see the signs. Some people don't watch the news because it says boring, it's always talking about bad things. And some people watch the news and make billions of dollars or gold or take over countries. And that's how Africa is. They watch the news about Africa. Everywhere Caucasian went in Africa, they portrayed Africa as this place where people are starving, dying needlessly. They can't control the economies. They don't know what to, how to, when to, what. And they go into Africa and become billionaires. Not only from the raw materials in the ground, but from the raw materials above the ground. The resources above the ground. You know how many Africans sell their organs every year? How many Africans sell to Africans? They go to India, get them taken out. Kidneys, livers, hearts. The women get taken out so their eggs can be transferred in the blood. People become billionaires in Africa. Even Africans do it. There was a, well, it's still going on, but the story is not in the news. People in government, high places in Nigeria, had opened up these places where they brought young women, impregnated them, and sell the babies. When I decided to retire, I had few plans. I wanted to travel, so I set myself up to travel for about 3 months of the year. I was planning on living in Barbados for about 3 months of the year, Africa for about 6 months, and then the other 3 months just travel throughout Asia and other places that I had not been before. But I had planned this all to accomplish it before 2034. But I was so confident that I had it done, I had planned out right, that I didn't pay attention to some things that were changing. And I forgot one thing. The 8 years that Obama was in office, and I was told that they put him in office for those 8 years to make people relaxed and comfortable. And I forgot that. I left that out of my plans. So when the 8 years were over, and the orange man came into office, and he started doing things that were supposed to be done previous to Obama. Hillary Clinton was supposed to do those things that Trump did. Listen to me now. Hillary Clinton was supposed to do the things that Trump did. They were supposed to declare war on Russia before before the war that's being fought right now. Hillary Clinton was supposed to do all of this. But Obama didn't do it. He pushed back. He wanted to take on China instead of Russia. And he would have been more correct than what you see happening now. They gave Russia 8 years to prepare, and Russia did. I asked any African leader, any African, period, ask any American, ask any black American, when I say American, I mean black American, any Arab, if they know this. Ask them. Ask the people who you see making YouTube videos about how great Africa is today, if they know this. This thing is like a rubber band now. It was stretched, and now it broke. Instead of chain, it's like a rubber. That 8 years stretched it to its breaking point. Now the rubber broke. Trump came into office. Biden came in and is doing exactly what Trump was doing. He even did something that Trump didn't do. He pushed NATO into a war with Russia. He pushed Israel into a war against Hamas. Listen to me, Hamas didn't just declare a war. There was a plan to build a canal across that area where Hamas is. That plan, that's like 20 years old now. More than 20 years old. They were supposed to tap into that gas field long ago. That's why they destroyed Syria. So that Syria couldn't tap into it. That's why you see India sitting on the fence, because India now promised the gas from that field. So they have to to get India on their side because they think India's numbers will help them against China, but it can't. India is an apartheid state. Just like Israel. Anyway, as I was saying, the Rome War got started first. And there's another one that is not being fought yet. And everybody's going to be surprised at where it's going to start, I should say. As the decline of the people who Africa depends on to make their plans for them accelerates, Africa will find itself in a big, serious problem because they're coming towards Africa. They don't have any resources. And Russia's resources have been cut off. So guess who's got the resources? Africa. And you have people like the president of Ghana, president of Kenya, Zambia, Malawi, Dambuya in Guinea. Senegal, who are in the forefront of leading Africa into the arms of the people who has been our traditional enemy. And I left out Nigeria for a reason, because Nigeria now is wrecked. Even the people who were there, people who stayed in Nigeria hoping to get part of the billions that gets thrown out, are now leaving. The people who were trained to come up to take the place of the current crop of, you can call them any name and you won't be wrong, except good. They are now, they call it Japa. They are now leaving Nigeria because they can see that the old thieves are just taking as much as they can, as fast as they can, and leaving none for them. So they decided, hey, we're not staying, we're leaving. Coming to Africa, all over Africa, food shortages, medicine shortages. And especially the monetary system that they depend on. Falling apart. Many of us heard about Africa from friends, relatives. The word has spread that Africa 2063, Africa is going to be the next powerhouse. So, thinking that we're not going to suffer the same fate as those we leave behind in the West, in America or the Caribbean or Europe, we jump into Africa, not thinking that Africa is is so deep in Africa. Africa is at the center of the matrix. That's like the machine that the matrix used to get its work done. everybody uses the genetics from Africa, the genes, the mitochondria. I only go into the mitochondria, the genetics, because the mitochondria is what keeps the genes healthy and alive. And anyway, that's a different subject. But Africa is the genetics for the rest of the world, and it is the resources for the rest of the world. When I say the rest of the world, the Caucasian people, the Chinese people, without Africa, cannot survive. Even if they can get the resources from somewhere else, they can't get the genetics from somewhere else. You're saying to yourself, I'm going to Africa because every time I go out the door, this Caucasian race soldier, they call him a policeman, is waiting there to murder me. And if I get to Africa, I've escaped. I want you to look at Uganda. They passed a law the other day to restrict the agenda being pushed by the Caucasians, LGBTQ, whatever name comes up after that, because they create names that every 6 months or so to add to the list. Uganda made law, and guess what they did? They cut off Uganda from the matrix. Well, they didn't cut it off. They just, stirred up the matrix. It's like living in the middle of an ant's nest, but the ants are calm, and they stirred up the ants in Uganda. They're doing it in Ghana now. The other day, the great president of Ghana says there will be no law passed in Ghana as long as I'm the president. What does that tell you? He is their man. But Ghanaians voted for him twice. So there are a lot of people who think that they protect themselves and the people from the agenda. But if you look at things carefully, the Indians are all over Africa. You can, just the other day in the news, the hand of India was seen in the corruption in South Africa, all the way up to the president. And it's like that in Sudan, Congo. Israel is there. There's billionaires with names that you never heard of. France is there, England, Sweden, Germany, the US, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Turkey. They're all there. They're all part of they're like the foot soldiers for the Matrix. And I'm using the word matrix because that's the word you know. That's the word, the common word you hear all the time. When things go sideways in Africa, like they went in America and England, and you run from them, where are you going to run to? You see, the people you rely on for information, that they give you entertainment instead. They came to Africa without being prepared. Some of them say, yeah, I came with some money. But it's not just the money. It's the intelligence. And if you don't, when you have intelligence and information and you don't make sure that information gets out, the people who come after you are going to be in big trouble because you're going to give them the wrong information. It's like you come to a place and all the windows have bars on it. And you never show that all the windows in this place have bars in it. Barbed wire on the walls. You don't show any barbed wire. Walls, 10 feet high. You're not showing the walls. What does that tell you? Something is wrong in that place that need to be fixed. I'm not saying it can't be fixed. It can be. But look at Haiti. Haiti need to be fixed. But guess what? It's not being fixed. A lot of the people who sell information sold their souls to survive in Africa. It takes common sense, and that is something that you learn over time. So when you came yesterday, 2 months, 3 months, and you're gonna start telling people how things are, you haven't learned anything yet. Fortunately for you, those who are gonna come, there are some people in Africa, there are some Africans who have family back there who are now saying, hey, look, things are tough here, things are bad here. They're telling their families what's going on. And those same people are seeing us and saying, hey, we need to help them. Remember that 20% that I told you about? That 20%, along with the 20% that's coming from America and Europe and Caribbean, everywhere, gonna have to work together to rebuild it before it becomes like Haiti. And if you don't think it's gonna become like Haiti, just wait. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned the time, 2034. Wait. Find these people. When you get to Africa, find those 20%. Share your information. Tell them about the facts in America. It's not just about the policemen. It's about America coming to Africa to take over. Recolonize. They didn't leave. The colonizers stay here. They come in now with a different agenda. They've been preaching this agenda for years. You see all the crop of African leaders in place today? They were trained in the West. One by one, they came back to implement the agenda, and Africans didn't realize. As a matter of fact, the YouTubers who were making their AdSense in Africa didn't realize. So they couldn't tell you about it. And they can't tell the Africans about it. Some of them were sent to deliberately deceive the Africans. And now that you're moving here, they're coming among you to keep you deceived here in Africa. This story is long, and I don't have time on this one video to tell it. Hopefully, you will start doing your own research. And I always say, this is information. The man who uses it will survive. Just like the man who used the information, the bad information that you talk about on the news, how bad the news is, he became billionaire and trillionaire off of you. Better use the information. Peace. See how dark clouds are better? If you've been watching this video from the time, you'll see that all the little blue spots are now filled in. Okay. Peace.